So we all know Fortnite. We know that it is way more than just a game at this point. It is a huge crossover of like a million different IPs. There's always a whole bunch of different collabs and stuff that comes out. You know, they've got Futurama, they've got, I don't know, the Avengers, Avatar The Last Airbender, Hank Hill, Billie Eilish. I mean, just anything that you can think of, it's probably in Fortnite at this point. So with collabs being a big deal, it's also a huge deal if somebody is going to leak an upcoming collab or multiple upcoming collabs. Because you see, this was actually just brought up earlier this year. There was apparently an alleged leaker in the Fortnite atmosphere. They were basically doing just this. They were apparently leaking these sorts of things before they happened. Epic filed a lawsuit, and now it was just revealed recently that apparently this lawsuit is already over. It has been settled. So this all started right here, March 5th. This was a tweet from Epic, got a whole bunch of attention. They say, today we took legal action against a former contractor who repeatedly leaked confidential partner IP and trade secrets that they received while working with Epic. And then they even link to the court filing, so you can look up all of that stuff. And when you do go to that court filing, you can even just see the names here. They are suing an individual here by the name of Hayden Cohen. That was the alleged leaker, it sounds like. Yeah, and the allegations were that they leaked a whole bunch of these collabs before they happened, and I'm talking very recent collabs. So these were Fortnite's recent collabs with South Park, Minecraft, Overwatch, Ben 10, Peak, the game Peak, and it sounds like even other content. This person, they leaked all of it, it sounds like, allegedly. Well, as I said, it was just reported that this lawsuit has just been settled. Now, it looks like the very, very original source is right here. It comes from Law 360. There's a paywall, so you can't see much of the article, but this was June 29th, exactly 1 week ago from today, Monday. And then 3 days ago, GameFile picked this up, and then just today, Video Games Chronicle picked this up right here from GameFile. I know it's kind of weird, but I'm just kind of connecting the dots here. I'm just kind of seeing how this all played out. But yeah, this really came out a week ago. So I saw it from this Video Games Chronicle article. So it says Epic settles with Fortnite leaker who shared South Park, Minecraft, and Overwatch collabs. And it says Hayden Cohen previously worked on Fortnite as an associate producer. And yes, based on the lawsuit and based on Epic's statements in the lawsuit, it sounds like Hayden Cohen worked as a contract associate producer on the actual game Fortnite, but he didn't work for Epic. He actually worked through a third-party staffing agency. It doesn't really go into detail about what exactly his day-to-day job would consist of, but it sounds like he allegedly kind of had the in on when these collabs would happen, and then he was the leaker. And Epic is alleging that these supposed leaks were basically in direct violation of his non-disclosure agreement or his NDA. And so anyway, that's the whole setup here. So yes, we can see exactly what was reported on a week ago from today. So it says, now according to GameFile, both parties have agreed to a judgment that bars Hoden. That is a typo. I think they mean to say Hayden Cohen. It's I guess just like a combination of those two. So this judgment is barring Hayden Cohen from possessing, accessing, using, or disclosing any of Epic's confidential or trade secret info. According to GameFile, the settlement does not mention any monetary relief, and when questioned on it, a spokesperson for Epic had nothing to share on that element, and it says, we took legal action against the former contractor who reportedly leaked confidential partner IP and trade secrets that they received while working with Epic, and this is something that an Epic spokesperson actually had confirmed to GameFile 3 days ago that they reported in that article. And they said, we have asked the court to approve the stipulated injunction to ensure they cannot publish or share Epic's confidential info again. So this is kind of odd in my opinion, because it sounds like we've got two pieces of information here from this settlement. You know, what this settlement consisted of. So the first is actually that we don't know something. It's that we have no idea how money played a factor here in this settlement. We don't know if there's actually any sort of monetary relief. You know, does Hayden Cohen owe Epic any kind of money from this settlement? We don't know. And then the other piece of information is that the settlement is basically saying that Hayden Cohen can no longer leak any further info on Epic Games or Fortnite, which to me makes no sense, because I'm sure at this point, and you know, for the past few months now, Hayden has probably not worked in any capacity with Fortnite or Epic Games. I'm sure he in no way has any more access to these sorts of things, where he can know about the upcoming collabs. The only thing I can think of is that maybe there are just some other things that Epic knows he would have seen that he has still not yet leaked. I'm just speculating here, but maybe that could make some sort of sense. But overall, even though it's kind of vague, it does sound like this lawsuit has been settled. And it's kind of crazy because, gaming leaks these days are really becoming legal issues. They are not just, internet drama. They are actually things that are, in some cases actually handled in court, which is, I would say, a pretty big difference. Even though this whole thing is kind of vague, what exactly was included in the settlement, it does sound like this was still potentially pretty big, and it kind of shows the shift that has happened in the gaming industry. Live service games, stuff like this, they are becoming massive entertainment platforms, and I think this settlement is just another sign of where the game industry is headed.